Hi, this is Scott Garibay, and today I'm going to be talking about the movie Warmachine. So, Warmachine is the film by Brad Pitt. It cost an estimated $60 million, and it was a Netflix original that came on, I believe, this last Saturday. Yeah, this last Saturday. So, this last weekend, excuse me, Memorial Day weekend. And I do not think it was a good movie. I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. So, by the way, there are spoilers in this, although this movie is, it is portraying the story of a nonfiction event. So, just be aware of that. All right, so, this is the story of Glenn McMahon. And Glenn McMahon was a general that served in Afghanistan and was sent over to Afghanistan to deal with counterinsurgency, training Afghani troops to fight the Taliban. And, all right, so here are, basically, to me, a movie starts with 5 stars. And, it loses some stars, and then it gains some stars, right? So, I guess I would give this movie. I'll give this movie 5 stars, and I would, it would start with the 5 stars, and then I would minus 5 stars for the writing, and the reason why is the biggest problem with this movie is when you're done with this movie watching it, you just say why can I get that 2 hours of my life back, because I don't understand what the point of this film, why was this movie made? And that when you get done watching this film, I think you'll be in the same boat, and I would not suggest watching this movie personally. If you're really interested in history, it's worth watching. But so here's the issue, okay? This movie, it shows that Glenn McMahon went over to Afghanistan, did a lot of stuff to win the war, was unable to win the war because he didn't have the support of the Afghani people. He didn't have the support of the U.S. president. He didn't have support of Congress. He didn't have support of the coalition troops, and all those reasons, right? It also shows that he was an incredibly dedicated man. He took his job, Glenn McMahon took his job incredibly seriously, and all those things, right? And that he was driven and smart and capable. Right, and really, I mean, when you're done, you kind of get the idea that if anybody could have done this, it was Glenn McMahon, right? And then also, yeah, so you have this issue, right? So it looks like the movie is pointing fingers at Glenn McMahon that he could not finish the job in Afghanistan, but there's a huge problem with that, right? So this is a Hollywood film. Brad Pitt is a dyed-in-the-wool, Hollywood actor. This isn't me projecting this onto him. I mean, he is world-renowned as a Hollywood actor, right? He's part of the Hollywood structure. Well, the Hollywood structure has been crystal clear for, all the years of President Obama's term that they were fans of President Obama. Now, I want to get out my position on President Obama. So I voted for President Obama twice, and the reason why was never in my life had I ever seen, every mother in America says to their child, many mothers in America say to their child, you could be president someday. And until Barack Obama, when a minority mother said that, that was pretty much objectively a lie, because it had never happened in 232 years. But when Barack Obama came about, he had the drive, the intelligence, the positioning to make it happen, and he did make it happen. He became president, and I supported his second term because I wanted it to be solidified that a minority had the ability to be president in America, and that this country was for everyone, and that everyone was part of the process. And I'm very proud to be part of American history in changing who can be president. And I really feel that if you are an American citizen, you should be able to be president. And we have proven 42 times in a row that just wasn't true before Barack Obama. So I voted for him, right? And, but here's my issue. No one can point the finger at for what went wrong in Afghanistan at Glenn McMahon. And the reason why is the buck stops here. I mean, that's the famous line of a president. The responsibility for Afghanistan falls 100% in the lap of Barack Obama. He was president for 8 years. If Hollywood thinks that we shouldn't have been there, and that's another thing, it seemed like the movie was saying that the fault of Afghanistan was Glenn McMahon's and that we shouldn't have been in Afghanistan, right? Well, if that's the case, all that falls squarely on the shoulders of Barack Obama. That doesn't go anywhere but on him, right? So he owns that 100%. He had the ability to pull out troops at any time, right? So that was one of my biggest issues with Warmachine. Is it's just outrageously confusing, right? It's like watching a Mets fan with Mets, with whatever color the Mets are painted on their face, wearing a Mets jersey, saying the Mets are terrible. It doesn't make sense, right? And or saying, oh yeah, here's a better example. It'd be like a Mets fan with their face painted with Mets paint and wearing a jersey, saying the reason the Mets lost the game is the hot dog vendor. Like, no. Yeah, the reason the Mets lost the game is the Mets, right? So that's my issue. Is Hollywood did a hit job with Warmachine on Glenn McMahon, right? When the sole responsibility for Afghanistan rests with Barack Obama, right? So now, in my opinion, I think we're fine. We were fine to be in Afghanistan. I don't think we should have been out. We shouldn't have had troops on the ground in Afghanistan. I just think it's weird that Hollywood made a movie that, I really think that's the best analogy. The Warmachine is a dyed-in-the-wool Mets fan looking at a game that the Mets lost and saying that hot dog vendor is the reason we lost. It's just ridiculous. It's absurd, right? The other thing is, this movie does what a lot of material that the left, when they talk about wars, right, does. And it was like, oh, Afghanistan was difficult and confusing, right? It was a difficult and confusing war. Well, thank you for spending $60 million to say that. We can promptly file that under DAW now. Like, no one didn't understand. Like, everything this movie says has already been said many, many times, right? It's just, so I do give it 1 out of 5 stars. To get to its 2-star rating, I give it 1 star for the casting. There's a lot of great casting in this. Brad Pitt obviously took this role extremely seriously. He did a fantastic job of actually portraying Glenn McMahon. His cadence, the way he walks, the way he talks, everything. You could tell he really studied the man and really tried to immerse himself in the role. And I think that's admirable. I really think that is very admirable. And he's an incredible actor. I definitely think he's good. The other thing is Anthony Michael Hall. Anthony Michael Hall is fantastic in this film. By the way, if you've never seen Johnny Be Good, go check out Johnny Be Good. I think that's Anthony Michael Hall's best film. And he's got a lot of great films. The Dead Zone, 16 Candles. 16 Candles, man, that is a classic film. Speaking of 16 Candles, if you haven't seen Central Intelligence, you should see Central Intelligence. It's just like, it's amazing. So the other thing is, I will give another star to this film to get to its 2-star rating for tackling this subject. This is a challenging subject. I get that. I get that, right? But it's just I watched this whole movie on Memorial Day weekend, And I have to say, I appreciate that Netflix made it, because if you're not aware, this was the worst, like commercially, it was the worst movie weekend, Memorial Day weekend, in 20 years. You know, we had a rated R Baywatch, and we had Pirates of the Caribbean 5, and it was a challenging weekend for me personally, because I am a movie man. Like, I am just, you know, big into movies, and I just love movies, and there was no movies to see this weekend. So I watched this, and when I was done, I was just like, oh, I felt tired and frustrated, and just like, why was this movie made, right? And it was just, it was, yeah. So maybe you'll have a different experience with Warmachine than me, but it was really not my jam. Take care.